Let's pull back the curtain on something we all use every single day, but probably don't think about nearly enough: the security of all the stuff running behind the scenes on our favorite websites. This is all about the hidden foundation of our digital lives. So, come on, let's go inside the fortress walls and see what's really happening. I mean, really think about it for a second. You fill out a form, you buy something, you log into your bank account, you hit submit, and poof, your information just zips off into the ether. But where does it actually go? Well, it goes to a server. And the security of that server is pretty much the only thing standing between your private data and, well, people who really shouldn't have it. Okay, so to really get a handle on the challenges here, we first need to understand what's actually happening behind your browser window. Let's break down what a server-side application is and, more importantly, why protecting it has become so unbelievably critical. At its heart, a server-side web app is the engine that makes the internet feel alive. It's not just a static, boring page. No, it's a living, breathing program on a server that's constantly working. It's fetching your bank balance, it's updating your shopping cart, it's processing all your requests in real time. And you are interacting with these things constantly. We're talking about the system that runs your online banking, the ones that power huge sites like Amazon, the platforms like WordPress that run millions of websites, and of course, all your social media feeds. They are quite literally everywhere. So why is securing them such a massive deal? Well, first and foremost, your data. These applications are the guardians of our most sensitive information: personal details, financial records, you name it. A breach here isn't just a minor headache, it can be an absolute disaster. And for any company out there, an attack can be a complete showstopper. It can bring business to a grinding halt, leading to huge financial losses, and even worse, the loss of something that's way, way harder to get back: customer trust. And if all that wasn't enough, there's the law. You've got major regulations like GDPR in Europe or HIPAA for healthcare, and they have incredibly strict rules about protecting user data. If you fail to secure these apps, you're not just risking a data breach, you're looking at serious legal trouble and massive fines. Now, with the stakes this high, you'd think these systems would be locked down tighter than Fort Knox, right? Well, not always. Attackers are constantly rattling the digital doorknobs, looking for one that was left unlocked. Let's dive into some of the most common ways they try to get inside. One of the oldest tricks in the book, but one that's still shockingly effective, is called SQL injection. An attacker basically uses a simple input field, like a search bar, to sneak in malicious database commands. If the application isn't smart enough to spot the trick, it can be fooled into dumping out all of its secrets. Here's a great way to picture it. Imagine slipping a hidden command onto a library request form. The librarian reads it, doesn't notice the trick, and then just hands over the keys to the entire restricted section. See, the attack doesn't kick down the door. It's much more clever. It tricks the system into willingly giving up access it should never ever give up. And SQL injection is just one tool in a very big toolbox. Attackers have all sorts of methods, from brute force attacks that are like a digital crowbar, just trying to guess your password over and over, to really subtle attacks that can hijack your login session while you're actively using a site. Each one is a different unlocked door they're hoping to find. All right, that all sounds pretty scary. So how do we possibly defend against all these threats? Well, you can't just put one lock on the door and call it a day. You have to build a digital fortress with multiple, overlapping layers of defense. A really solid defense starts with a gatekeeper. That's your web application firewall, which filters out the bad guys before they even get to your application. Next, you need a strict ID check at the door, which means strong passwords and two-factor authentication. Inside, you have a firm rulebook that checks everything coming in to prevent those injection attacks. And finally, you have a secure vault, making sure all the really important data is encrypted and unreadable. But how do you know if your fortress has any cracks? Well, there are two main ways to find out. The first is vulnerability scanning. Think of this like an automated watchdog that's constantly sniffing around for common known weaknesses. The other is penetration testing. Now, this is different. This is like staging an ethical heist. You hire experts to actively try and break in, to find those unique flaws that an automated scan might just miss. But beyond all these active defenses, security has to be baked into the very foundation of everything. That means following something called the principle of least privilege, which is a fancy way of saying only give people the access they absolutely need and nothing more. It means building security in from day one, and, critically, it means keeping everything, and I mean everything, patched and up to date. But here's the thing, even with the best fortress and the strongest foundation, every single defense has a potential weak point. And more often than not, it's the one thing we can't fully automate us, the human factor. A fortress is only ever as strong as the people who are guarding it. Technology alone is never going to be enough. Every single person in an organization, from the CEO all the way down to the newest intern, has a role to play in keeping things secure. It's a team sport. Building this human defense system requires a solid game plan. It starts with ongoing training, so everyone knows what the latest threats look like. That feeds into regular education programs. And just as important, you need a clear, well-practiced plan for what to do when, not if, but when a security incident happens. Ultimately, it all boils down to this one idea. In the world we live in today, securing these server-side systems isn't just a job for the IT department. It is a fundamental business necessity, every bit as crucial as managing your finances or marketing your product. And that really leaves us with one last thought. From your bank to your social media, your entire digital life runs on these applications. So the next time you go to click that Submit button, it's worth taking a second to ask yourself, is the digital world I rely on every single day really as secure as I think it is?